Crimson Desert is out and the reviews are in, and they're all over the place. It has a 7. Last I checked, it had a 78 on Metacritic. I've been playing it for a few hours, and I definitely have some thoughts, which we'll get to in a little bit. But first, I wanted to take a look at the reviews. Dual Shockers gave the game a 95. They said Crimson Desert combines all the phenomenal aspects of some of the most notable titles in the past decades. It has a sense of discovery that's like Elden Ring. It has an engaging and dense world like Skyrim. It has unpredictable moment-to-moment gameplay like Red Dead Redemption 2. And the exploration overall feels like the latest Zelda games, which Zelda games, the new ones, are my favorites of all time. And then you got Eurogamer, which gave the game a 60. They said it's a vast world with an even vaster array of MMO-like activities mixed with a glittering fidelity of Crimson Desert. But what good is it without much character, texture, or charm? Rich?
Yeah, I want to jump in because you said Eurogamer gave it a 60, and that you fell into my trap. That leads me to talk about one of my favorite things when it comes to reviews. So Eurogamer actually did not give it a 60; they gave it a 3 out of 5. Is a 60 the same thing as a 3 out of 5? Now we have to talk about this.
Well, I have to use a calculator.
I don't think so. I think I agree. It's like if and it's like with a movie, is a one thumb up of 50%. No, one thumb up means it's
exactly
kind of okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think you've convinced me that I mean, look, they're just, and that's the ineloquence of Metacritic stripping out all this info and trying to average
exactly.
it.
Oh yeah, I don't like the numbered scores. I never give numbered scores for anything that I've ever talked about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Resetera has a thread that it literally like 3 weeks ago, they had a thread that was, is a 3 out of 5 and a 60 out of 100 the same to you? And 26% voted, of course. 34% voted not at all. And 40% voted technically, but not really. So
I think I would land with the third group.
Technically, but not really. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, when you divide it, that's what it comes out to.
So like, it's funny, at work, in sort of office culture, there's often a 1 through 5 rating system when you do like self-rated performance, and a 3 is usually good, right? Like you're above the line. But if you take a test and you get a 60, that is trash. So yeah, it's nuanced for sure.
Okay. See, when you say 3 out of 5 and you said 3 is good, I was like, it is? Like my reaction is, it is? Because that sounds terrible. Like,
almost.
Like
it's one of those things where these companies are always like, almost no one gets a 5, right?
Yeah, but then if you're self-rating, I would always rate myself a 4.
Yeah. You do your rating, and then they do your rating as well. And I often give myself a 4, I think, around there. But yeah, it's just funny.
Well, I do want to talk a little bit about the game itself. I played it for 2.5 hours last night. I did not get a chance to play it today after work, but it is definitely on my list of what more to play this weekend and all of next week, and probably for a very long time, because it is very much like Zelda. And when I say it's like Zelda, I said on a recent episode, and people were, of course, angry when I say it, is that the story in Zelda doesn't really matter. The story is what happens to you. The story in Crimson Desert is clear as mud. I cannot tell what the hell's going on. I'm so confused half the time, but that's okay, because I don't really care what's happening. All I care is, oh, look, there's a shiny thing over there. I'm going to go towards that shiny thing, and maybe I'll get there. But if I don't, it's because I got distracted by 4 other shiny things on the way, and I had fun doing those things. That's the kind of gameplay that this gives you. But the people who are saying the bad things about it are not wrong either. So just to give you guys an example, you start off, and all of this stuff that I'm not going to spoil for people happens to you, and then you end up in this town. And I'm in this town outside of an inn. And for some reason, no particular reason at all, it says, go arm wrestle this guy. It just says it on the bottom of my screen. No NPC came up and said, hey, you know what? You should go arm wrestle this guy. They just said, stop by the inn. And then when I got to the inn, it's like, arm wrestle this guy. Like, there's no character telling me like there's a transition between these things. I was like, okay, that's weird. So I went in and I tried to arm wrestle this guy. The controls are so obtuse. You have to hold down the left bumper, and then your character like holds up a lamp, and you point the lamp at the person that you want to talk to. And as you're doing that, you have a little tiny cursor that's on the screen, right? And you're pointing it at the person that you want to talk to. Tom, let me ask you a question, because Rich already knows this answer. You would assume that the prompt would be next to the little icon, the little targeting reticle that says press X to talk to this person, right?
Probably. Yeah, it's at the bottom then or something?
It's on the bottom right corner.
Yeah.
So here I'm walking all around this guy like, hey, I want to talk to you. Why can't I talk to you? But it's because I was like laser focused on the reticle pointing at this guy, but down in the bottom right corner on my TV, it says press X to start a conversation. I just didn't see it. So you have to, just to talk to a person, you have to hold down the button and then press X. And there's another issue with the controls. It's like you get this ability to like throw a hand out and grab shit. In order to do that, you have to press the left bumper and then click the left joystick in, which is very uncomfortable to do. And on top of that, it doesn't always work. So the controls are really messed up. And I don't know if they're going to fix this or not, but that's definitely a problem. But then to get back to the quest thing, I finally figure out how to arm wrestle this guy. I go outside for no reason. It just says talk to the beggar on the bottom of my screen. I'm like, no one told me, hey, there's a beggar outside. There was nobody sitting there saying, oh, this stupid beggar, I hate him or whatever. It was just talk to the beggar. So I talk to the beggar. He hands me a thing, and then he goes away. And then it just says, go to the sewers. And he never mentioned the sewers. It's like the progression through the quests is really, really terrible. But it's okay, because when I go out into the world, there's an inordinate amount of shiny things, and they're all fun to do.
Yeah.
It's just the other things really take away from it.
And we were talking a bit about this before the show. You mentioned the combat's good too, right?
Unbelievably good.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, right? Like it's a good but flawed game, and that sounds really interesting to me. Like I said, I bought it a couple yesterday. I haven't had a chance to play yet. I did install it, but that's probably what I'm going to do all weekend, is just try it out and see where I land on it, because I mean, my favorite thing is to experience like a flawed game, but find the parts that I really enjoy. And I am someone that doesn't care that much about story. If there's a chance that it gets in my way and I'm like, oh, that sucks. But it sounds like that's probably not going to be the case here. I'm probably going to be able to ignore it while rolling my eyes at some lines of dialogue. So I think I'll take that. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm excited to dig in this weekend.
Now, I know this is becoming a throwback to an earlier conversation, but I think I have a tiebreaker for if it's actually a 6 out of 10. Now, I want to be clear that if I'm being a Supreme Court justice here, I would, in my little notes, have a thing that's like, this does not set a precedence for future things. This is only a ruling for this case. But what I thought is, why don't I find a 70, see what their concluding statement is? And if it's nicer than Eurogamer, I'd say the 6 might hold. And GameSpots, which gave it a 7 out of 10, is it might not always be the most cohesive game, mixing high fantasy with steampunk and sci-fi elements. But there's nothing else quite like it, and I can't help but be impressed by how little restraint Pearl Abyss has shown in its commitment to the delightful absurdity. In some respects, Crimson Desert might be too good to be true, but it's worth getting lost in. So it's not too good to be true, but worth getting lost in. All right, well, here is Eurogamer's ending. Make no mistake, Crimson Desert is a technically proficient game with killer combat. Yes, its characters and story are fatally undercooked. And for all of Puel's spectacular visual construction, which impresses in its gigantic scale and gleaming prettiness, it lacks a certain distinctiveness. Think of the Witcher games. You can practically taste the fetid water, churned up mud, and hunk of charred meat dined on by a nobleman. Those are works of grit, texture, and a genuinely idiosyncratic sense of place. How does Crimson Desert taste? Well, it's not nearly so flavorsome. Imagine instead a banquet where almost every dish has the faint taste of cardboard and you have to eat it for what feels like forever. I think that's a 6 out of 10, my friends. Jeez.
You know what? I see your point. That does sound very 6 out of 10-ish.
It does.
Taste of cardboard.
And forever,
you know,
like purgatory.
Right.
The other thing that I wanted to say about the game is the dialogue between the characters. It's not that the dialogue's bad, but the delivery is really stilted, and I never blame a voice actor for something like that. I always blame a game director for something like that, because they said, that's good enough. You know, they didn't say, let's get one more. And it didn't feel like the characters were talking to each other. They just felt like they were people who were in a booth saying lines. And even though they sounded cool when they said it, it never felt like, when I was playing for again, only 2.5 hours of a game that apparently takes forever. It just didn't feel like the people were talking to each other. They were just recording lines. It seemed, I don't know. I still am very excited about the game because the world is amazing.
Well, we know that happens because I think this was during the PS3 gen. Nolan North was one of those actors that was Drake from Uncharted and a million other games. And they said the singularity has happened. I don't remember if it was Polygon or what website. They found in like Mafia 2, Nolan North talking to Nolan North. Like so. We know they must record separately sometimes.
Oh, that's actually the norm.
That's too funny.
Even in movies
yeah.
and stuff, they almost always record just by themselves.
Yeah, but like you said, so they should know to make it sound like they're talking to each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, the cast, the voice acting director, whoever's in charge of that should be the one. I don't blame the voice
That's what I'm
actors
saying.
for.
Yeah,
okay. But hey, have you guys been playing Crimson? I almost called it Crimson Dawn. What the hell is Crimson Dawn?
Is that a thing?
Sounds like a thing.
It does.
I think
sound like
it's
a thing.
The Order of the Crimson Dawn. It feels like it's from a movie.
It says the ruthless Star Wars criminal syndicate is a thing. Sounds like
Okay.
it's probably a B movie too, if I had to guess.
There is also a game on Steam called Crimson Dawn, but I don't think that's it. I think the Star Wars thing is more likely.
Probably. I'm a giant Star Wars nerd, so that's probably it.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys, if you've been playing Crimson Desert, those of you that are watching the show, let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. This was just a small part of my podcast, the Nerd Nest podcast. And if you enjoyed it, then do me a favor and click on that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, then I think you should check out the link in the description down below the like button. It's going to take you to the full podcast so you can check out the entire conversation and a whole lot more. If that sounds good, I hope to see you over there. Stay rad, and thanks for watching.